Welcome back to the channel, people. Yes, it's that time of the week again. Yes, time to hit the road, time for adventure. Anyway, I've managed to drag my Weasel sidekick along again.
Hello.
Yes, I know he's been absent for a little while, you know, off on a jolly, but you know, I've got him back driving today. So today we're heading to a place on the West Wales coast. Yeah, it is coast. Called Laugharne. Basically a very interesting little coastal village. Got lots of different little interesting things going on there, but we'll get more into that later. Anyway, the sun is shining eventually. It has been raining this morning, but you know what time it is. Let's do this. Well, I'm here stood just across from the main town square. As you can see, to all intents and purposes, if you was just driving through this part of town, it would seem like your pretty average, inconspicuous town. Just further along here, which you'll see shortly, is the coastal car park, and it's then that Laugharne really comes to life. You wouldn't believe it from being stood here, but there's a castle here. There's something like 69 listed buildings. There's Georgian and Tudor buildings that are here in the town. It's and that's not just the half of it, as you'll discover as we go on, but yeah, a pretty amazing location. Well, myself and Weasel are taking a well-earned break from filming in this wonderful little cafe called the Owl and the Pussycat. Food's pretty good, nice ham and coleslaw, baguette, nice coffee, and it's just wonderful surroundings. It's a lovely sort of quaint little cafe and full of atmosphere, little knick-knacks scattered about, and it's just the perfect place to stop and have a little break and have a coffee and just put our feet up and shelter from the rain showers that seem to be plaguing our filming today. But anyway, back to the food. So we're down here out of the town centre, down at the coast now. We've got another tidal inlet like similar to the previous video. There's a lot of wetlands behind here that sits just in front of the castle, which sits up on the hill there. Obviously it's a very prominent location. Invading forces not only would have had to have contend with the tidal inlet here, but obviously the prominent viewpoint that the castle's got from invading forces right across the bay here. It really is a fantastically strategic location. Further around the headland here, you've got woodlands on the peak there, and then if you go beyond that, there's an area known as Pendine Sands, which is very famous in the world of world land speed records, because when the tide recedes so far that it leaves large open flats of sand that are perfect racing and trying to attempt land speed records, and there have been several that have been taken here at this, well, not this very location, but literally just around the headland behind that wooded area there behind me. So although this is very much a sleepy little coastal town, there is so much here. So we've got the Tudor and Georgian buildings that occupy the town that are protected. We've got this wonderful bay and coastal inlet. We've got the castle on the hill. We've got the expansive sands where they've attempted land speed records. Well, not just attempted, but broken land speed records. And yeah, there's still more to this location, which I will reveal shortly. Well, the Welsh weather is striking again. Myself and Weasel have had to make a bit of a mad dash back to the car. We were out flying the drone trying to get some footage from this location, and the skies have just opened up as per Welsh weather. You know, it can just, one minute it can be sunny, next minute it's chucking it down with rain. So on this occasion we were in danger of getting very wet, so we had to make a mad dash back for the car. But hey, these things happen when you're filming out in the wilds. So we're heading just out from the Laugharne car park. We've passed below the castle walls. We're following a small coastal walk here, and it's just a short hop to somewhere that is probably what Laugharne is most famous for, and that is the Dylan Thomas Boathouse. The poet and playwright, he spent a lot of his working years here in Laugharne. He purchased this house that's now a tea room just outside of Laugharne along the coast. Adjacent to the house he had a shed installed, which essentially become his writing room, and where a lot of his most famous works were written, including Under Milkwood, which was written here over several years. And it's believed that the characters and locations were within that piece a direct representation of Laugharne as it is. Anyway, we've got a little bit further to walk, and we'll show you the boathouse when we get there. This footpath is wonderful. It walks right adjacent to the River Taff. The tide's out now, but it comes right up to this path that's along here that goes along to the Dylan Thomas Boathouse. But let's push on. Typically the rain's starting, so hopefully we won't get too wet. So it was a little bit of a trek up here, but definitely worth the effort, just to be able to soak up the atmosphere up here and feel these feelings that a literary great must have felt being sat up here with such fantastic views. It's difficult to describe, really. It's such a beautiful spot. It really is. And even on a dreary day like today, dodging the rain, now as we speak the sun's starting to poke through the clouds, and with knowing what Welsh weather like it is, and knowing how weather systems come and go and change almost on an hourly basis, you can just imagine the imagery that must have evoked as he was sat up here writing. And yeah, it's definitely worth a visit if you're in this part of the world, in this part of Wales. It's a nice walk up here, and like I say, Laugharne, yes, if you look on the map, it's just a tiny little coastal outlet, but it's got a lot to give. I'm heading back to the car now. Going to catch up with Weasel. He went back to get out of the rain. But anyway, our journey round Laugharne is not quite over yet. We've got one more location that sort of brings the whole story full circle. So keep watching and join us for that. Well, I'm here at the final stop off of today's road trip. I'm in St Martin's Church. Within the graveyard here is the final resting place of Dylan Thomas. Come into the church itself as well, because as you can see behind me, it's got fantastic architecture. Also, the church is famous for a medieval a cross that dates back to the Dark Ages. It was found in the graveyard here that they've now got on display. Put up some footage of that as well. Also, I've just been told by the vicar here that they also house some bones and some implements of some people known as the Beaker people. They were found in quarry caves locally. And when the bones were discovered, they had these beaker type implements that were found in their hands. So some of the remains and implements are in Carmarthen Museum, but they also house some here in this wonderful location. Well, it's been an enjoyable day, an on and off wet day, but it was only fitting, I thought, considering the subject matter, to end the day here at Dylan Thomas's grave. So his life full circle, his workplace, his home, and now his final resting place here in Laugharne. And it really is a fantastic location, and I think he would have enjoyed looking out over the hills here. Well, I've made it back to the car before yet another downpour, but that brings us nicely to the end of another video. It's been a long day. It's been an interesting day. Interesting dodging weather, but also interesting historically. I had a nice lunch. Weasel's had a bit of exercise. I do let him out occasionally, you know. And anyway, you know the drill by now. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. It all helps. And obviously, if you're feeling really brave, hit the notification bell as well. Then you'll even be informed of when another video comes up. How good is that? Anyway, until next time, you know what to do. Keep adventuring and stay in the groove.